If you ask any small business owner how they're doing, the reply is typically the same: I'm busy. And because they're busy, too often they're missing critical actions of helping their business grow. Well, in this episode, I am going to give you my top 5 favorite marketing automations for local small business owners coming up on the Marketing Domination podcast. So this is going to be the final video that I'm making for this first initial series over this marketing domination framework. This is the framework that we use at our marketing agency to help small local business owners dominate their business, get more leads, and grow their business. And if we gotta go back and recap, it's these 3 critical steps. So the very first thing is we believe every business owner needs a sales funnel. So the first thing that we help them do is build their sales funnel. That sales funnel consists of several aspects. It's the words and messaging that you use. It's the visual aspect of your logos and your whole overall brand. It's your website. It is your lead generator. So when people come to your website, you can follow up with them. And it is these automations that we're building out. Like, you need to have that as kind of the foundation. But then we have to, after we build the thing, we have to go into step 2, which is filling the sales funnel. Throughout those videos, we talked all about things like SEO, content marketing, building out your digital storefront and your social media profiles, paid ads versus organic, even things like doing a video podcast just like this, and several different ways, from networking events to social, all the different ways that you can use to fill your sales funnel. And this last series is a little bit shorter because it is honestly never ending. And I want this series to finalize and kind of wrap up here so we can keep going in. But that last step of marketing domination is optimization. So we talked about last episode a lot about data and some main data points that you should be looking at as a small business owner, from metrics, analytics, from web traffic, SEO numbers, things like impressions, what that means. And then the last part of optimization is automation. And so on this episode, because it is so nuanced and there are so many different variables and types of automations that you can create, I wanted to give this episode as kind of my top 5 favorite automations that we build out for all of our clients, because I think that this is the foundation for where to kind of start out with automating. So one thing that I will say overall is there's a reason why we do things in this order. There are some, and most of the things that we're going to go over today, I think, are foundational automations. But one kind of trap I see business owners get sucked into sometimes is they try too early to automate a bunch of things and processes that they haven't actually proven yet, or maybe even don't even realize that they don't need. And so you might have watched a YouTube video, you read a blog, you heard about some other person in your industry doing something. So you automatically think that you need to build out that automation in the process. And you waste time, you waste money and resources building this thing out that you haven't actually tested, and you don't even know if your business actually needs it. So when you're building out these automations, and kind of the reason why we do it the way that we do is we want to make sure that we're building out things that the business actually needs to drive the business forward. You can automate things just for automation's sake, but it doesn't actually mean that it's going to help get you more leads or make you more money or grow the business. So these ones that we're talking about today, my 5 favorite, they're ones that I believe are foundational for all local business owners. You need to have these in place because they are going to do those things. They're going to help you get more leads and help your business grow. So here we go. These are my 5 favorite automations that I think every local small business owner should have, starting off with number 1, and that should be the obvious one: lead gen follow-ups. We talked about, as part of the foundational aspect of building your sales funnel, having some type of a lead generator on your website, whether it be that, PDF free checklist guide, it is a mini course, it's a free trial, whatever it is. We want to have something to where people are opting in or collecting their information. But we talked about, it's not just collecting that information, right? It's following up with those people. So the number 1 automation that I always push for all of my clients and we build out for is, the very first aspect is that lead gen follow-up. So after somebody downloads that lead generator, what happens? Typically for the businesses that we work with, we're going to do 2 things. One is we're going to plug them in to an email sequence. On that email sequence, it's typically 5 to 6 emails delivered over, 1 to 3 to 4 days apart on each one, depending on the ticket price of what the client's selling. If they're selling a lower price point thing with a shorter turnaround time or shorter sales cycle, we're going to just get those emails closer together. If they're selling bigger ticket items, like we've got clients that are selling, $500,000 CNC machines and stuff. Well, those we're going to spread them out because it's typically a longer sales cycle. It's a much higher ticket item. So we want to spread those things out a little bit more. So I want to build out that automation sequence. And typically with those is the first email is going to thank them for downloading the thing. The second one is going to talk about the problem that they're dealing with and why you guys are the perfect solution for them. The third one's going to be some type of a testimonial or success story about somebody that's worked with you in the past. The fourth email is typically something like a new and better way. So we're going to show them how your way is different than what they've been thinking. And then the fifth email is going to be a sales email. We might throw another email in there that just overcomes a common objection, depending on the business and how long that sales cycle is. But typically it's an email series that focuses on those things. Well, another thing that we want to do is whenever somebody downloads that lead generator, we want to plug them into our pipeline. So I love just kind of a Kanban style board of all of the leads of a business, because what it does is it gives you a good pulse on how the leads are coming in, what stages people are at within your sales funnel pipeline. And for me, I'm visual, so I like being able to see all of my leads in a Kanban style. So if you don't know what that means, imagine having a spreadsheet all the way across, and there's different columns for different stages that a lead could be in. So it might be, a new lead came in, they downloaded your lead generator, they booked a call, they didn't show up for the call, they did show up for the call, we need to follow them. We have all of these different stages, and you can just drag and drop people based upon where they're in the stage, or in this case, automate based upon where they're at in the stage. So as they do different things within your sales funnel ecosystem, they're automatically going to move into different stages of your CRM pipeline. So you can easily see when a lead does come in through your lead generator, how they're moving through. And then you can also just manually move them through. If you are, booking calls, you're reaching out, you're having conversations with them, your sales team or you are doing sales call follow-ups and everything. So we want to be able to track that up. So that's the very first automation I like, is the lead gen follow-up, where we're sending them an email sequence and we're getting them plugged in our CRM pipeline. So the second automation that I think all local business owners should need is some type of calendar booking or appointment reminder. So again, because small business owners, we're busy. We've got lots of irons in the fire. And so it's really difficult to get appointments booked, whether that be service calls because you got a local business, like you're a plumbing company or you're a medical practice or anything like that, or a consulting agency like we are, or you just have an appointment for people that want to make a staff or colleagues or just other vendors and stuff want to make appointments with you. Going back and forth, we're trying to book on email, like, hey, is this time work? Or what about this time? Are you free here? Waste a lot of time. So one of the things that we love doing is we like creating calendars for people to where it's linked with their personal calendar. So that way, whether it be clients, prospects, staff members, they can go on and they can book a time based upon the parameters that you've set on the back end for when somebody can book a time with you. This is really, really important for any service-based business that does appointments. Like I said, medical practices, IV, med spas, attorneys, plumbers, home services, all of that stuff, because the customers can just go on directly if they are ready to buy, because we've set the sales funnel up. Maybe they've gone through the email autoresponder we just talked about and they're ready to book. We don't want them to have to reach out and go back and forth with somebody if we can automate that process by linking it with our calendar and making it to where the client can just automatically book that appointment when they are ready. So once we do have that calendar set up, one important aspect of it is the appointment reminder. Getting them to book is the first difficult thing we have to overcome, but actually getting them to show up or show to their appointment is the next challenge that we have. So we want to automate that process with reminders and appointment notifications for our customers. What I typically like to do is whenever somebody books, I like to send an immediate reminder notification so they can add the event to their calendar if they're using like iCalendar, Google Calendar, or Outlook or anything like that. Then I'll typically, based upon what the industry is, but for me specifically, then we'll typically send another reminder 24 hours before the appointment. And on these, it's typically a short message. Hey, this is just to remind you about your appointment, making sure it's still good for you. If you need to cancel, click here. If you need to reschedule, click here. Because we don't want to waste our time or our staff's time for making them show up to service calls or appointments if the customer is not actually going to show up. So we do initial, we do 24 hours, and then I will typically also do one an hour before. And then for me, because I do lots of video calls, and for other clients that do video type appointments, I'll also do another reminder anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes before, just as kind of like oh yeah, I got to log on real quick and get that thing set up. If it's an in-person, like somebody's driving to a med spa or something, 15 minutes before they're going to miss the appointment anyway. So that's typically we'll do it like an hour before on that one. So, but we want to have those appointment reminders set up with options for them to reschedule if they need, because you don't just want them to cancel. We want to make it very, very easy to reschedule those appointments, which leads me to automation number 3 is a rebooking for canceled or no-show appointments automation. So we've done all this work to get somebody to come through our funnel. They've gone through the lead generator, let's say, and gone through the email sequence. They've gone on the second automation of booked a call with us, but they didn't show up, or maybe they needed to reschedule, or they had to cancel. Well, we don't want them to cancel and just fall off into nothingness, or not show and just fall off. That's one reason why I like it visually seen in that CRM pipeline, so I can actually tell how many leads I have in what stage, and oh wow, this call booked, they didn't show. Well, one of the things that we want to do is we want to follow up again. We want to find out, make sure everything is okay. Was there a reason that they didn't show up? Are they just not interested anymore? Did something come up? Would there be a better time to explore this in the future? But we want to automate that so it just doesn't get lost and just fall by the wayside. We don't want to waste or lose leads. We've done all of this work trying to create this sales funnel to capture these leads and to fill the sales funnel and to optimize the sales funnel. We got to make sure that we're staying on top of all the work that we're bringing in. So we want to create an automation that based upon it can be done either automatically or a manual trigger. If somebody doesn't show up to appointment, the staff could flag something so it instantly pulls them into another pipeline or automation sequence where typically it's going to be following up, reaching out to them, seeing when we could get them booked again, and staying on top of mind and putting them into another stage of your pipeline. So that way your staff knows, hey, we need to manually reach out to these people because they had a service or an appointment booked with us and they didn't show. So let's get them rescheduled. The fourth, so that's the first. So recap real quick. Number 1, lead gen follow-up. Number 2 is calendar booking and appointment reminders. 3 is appointment rebooking for cancels and no-shows. And number 4, automation, which I think this one honestly makes people a ton of money whenever they set it up correctly. It's something that's called missed call text back. So remember, you're a small business owner. You're busy. You're talking to customers. You're dealing with customers. You're serving customers. It's difficult to always be able to answer the phone. And whenever you have a local service business where people are just going down a list on Google and they're just calling the next one on the list, whether that be like a hairstylist, a plumber, electrician, home services, med spa services, they're just going down the list. Well, that's exactly what they're doing. If you don't pick up, most likely they're just going to the next one on the list and they're going to go find your competition. So one of the things I love doing is called missed call text back. So what this does is, let's say a customer or potential customer calls your business and you don't pick up because you are with another customer. Well, we don't want to lose that sale. What we want to do is we want to instantly fire off an automation that sends them a text for every time that you miss a phone call. The customer would receive a text like, hey, this is Julie from Sunday Edwards Homes. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to your call. How can I help? And we want to start that conversation. Just that follow-up, especially with my clients that are in the home service industries, real estate agents, home inspectors, home appraisers, plumbers, stuff like that. They get so much business just from that because the customer is looking to get an assessment or a quote or set up an appointment. And if you wouldn't have responded back or they wouldn't have had any type of follow-up, they would have just gone to the next person on the list. And just having that one reminder that sends out immediately when you don't pick up is huge for service business owners. Now you can take that up on a whole nother level, which I would like to talk about this a lot more in a future episode, is by leveraging AI. I've got one client in particular that has trained his AI bot that we've created for him all about his business. So whenever he's with another client and then that missed call text back fires, well, then the AI is able to take over and get them booked while he's actually serving another client. So that's a much more advanced automation, but I just want you guys to kind of have a little seed in your head of just thinking about your business and what's actually possible. The last automation that I think every small local business owner should have, as this is one that if you do this, I shouldn't say if you You need to be doing this if you want your business to grow and dominate online. Most businesses are not doing this. This is why I 100% think that this should be automated. It should be consistent if you truly want to win and dominate online. And that is Google review automation and replies. We've talked a lot about, especially for our local service businesses, how important getting Google reviews are. It's difficult, though, to remember to ask the customer, though. So your staff's probably not doing it on a consistent basis. I mean, honestly, like, you're probably not doing it on a consistent basis. So what we like to do is we like to automate the ask and then also automate the follow-up and then also automate the reply. So this is what it would look like for, let's say, a med spa business, for example. Customer comes in whenever we build out the automation. So whenever the invoice is closed, payments received, whatever the business is or the initial trigger, the automation will fire typically within 5 minutes of that purchase. We're going to ask them for that Google review on a text or an email. Then what we do is we will wait 3 days. And if they have not responded to that review, we're going to ask again. We're going to send another reminder for a text and for an email. Then wait 3 days. If they have not responded to that one, what we're going to do again is we're going to send them another text and another email. So we're going to have 3 touch points that are 3 days in between. And if they are not going to do it by that third time, well, then what we do is we just remove them from the sequence. So the next time they come in, we can ask them again. Now, what we do on the back end to kind of supercharge this, and one of the ways that we help our clients get Google reviews so quickly and so many, is we actually build this into a CRM pipeline. So we have 3 different stages. We have, review asked, they clicked on a link, and then also they left a confirmed review. So what we'll do is there's going to be a lot of people that will see the text, they'll click, and then they're like, I got to log in my Google account. I'll do that later, and they'll forget about it. What we like to do is we like to show our team, and what we can do to help them is they can see that CRM pipeline. They can see all the people that have been as a potential ask, who's actually clicked, and then we're going to follow up manually with those people that clicked, whether that be with a phone call, a text, or another specific personalized email. It's like, hey, Tom, I saw that you started to fill out your Google review request, but for some reason you didn't. Would you mind taking 30 seconds and just leaving us a review? It really helps our small business. That right there skyrockets reviews just by the ask, because your customers, 99% of the time, they genuinely want to see you succeed, especially with these local service businesses that we work with. And so a lot of times it's just having that ask to follow up. So we automate the ask, we automate the follow-up, and then the third thing that we do is we automate the reply. So a lot of times you might be getting reviews. That's awesome. But are you actually consistently replying to the reviews? When you reply to the reviews, it's very important that you just don't say things like, thanks, or you too, have a great day. Like, we want to be specific and use context, because that context and those keywords can actually be ranking factors to Google of the type of service that you provide. So again, let's use a plumber as an example. We would want to say, hey, Dave, thank you. Say somebody just left a 5-star review. It'd be like, hey, Dave, thank you so much for your 5-star review about the plumbing service that we provided for you in Tulsa. What we want to do is those keywords now help show up on Google Map listings. You can actually see that whenever you're looking at Google rankings, how often a word or a term is mentioned. So if we're able to use our product, services, and our location in that, it helps show up higher on the ranking. This is a small ranking factor, but it's still, why wouldn't we want to help ourselves out? So what we would do is we actually would automate this process with an AI reply, and we would train our AI bot to reply with the service that we provide with each one of their responses. So it natively throws it in there. It reads their review and plugs that response in for context. So that way the reviews are including with those keywords in there, and we make sure everybody gets responded to. Customers, if they see that you're responding to reviews, are also more apt to leave reviews. And it just helps your Google business listing rank even higher and show Google that you are committed to growing this listing. So quick recap, 5 automations that I love and I think every small local business owner should have. Number 1 is lead gen follow-up. We want to make sure that we're following up with all the leads that are coming to our website that didn't book a call or aren't ready to buy. The second one is the calendar booking and reminders. We want to make it really easy for somebody to book an appointment with us. And we also want to remind them of that appointment so they actually show up. 3, if they don't show up, we want to have rebookings for cancels and for no-shows so we can recapture them and get them back on our calendar. 4, we want that missed call text back. If somebody calls us or our business and we're unable to answer the call, we want to make sure it immediately fires off with a text message to them to keep that conversation going so we can help them get their problem solved. And then the 5th one, after we've done all of this amazing work for them and we've served those clients, we want to ask for that review. We want to follow up for the ask until we get the review. And then we want to automate the reply so that way our business can continue to grow. So I hope this series of episodes over this whole marketing domination framework has been valuable to you guys. If you want this implemented in your business, you don't have to do it alone. This is what we do at Sean Garner Consulting. This is our marketing agency that serves local small service business owners just like you. Love the opportunity to talk and see how we could implement this for you in your local market. We do only work with one industry per service area. So we want to make sure that you call us before your competition does, because once we get an industry locked in for a service area, we're not like a big agency that's, signing up 1,000 plumbers all over the country or anything like that. We work with just one specific service area, one specific service per service area. So that way we can truly help that business owner grow their business and dominate. Love the opportunity to connect with you guys. Just go to seangarner.co, schedule a call, and talk to me. And we're going to go a deep dive over your business, go through these different steps of the funnel, see how we can help you grow your business and dominate your industry. Super excited to keep the podcast going. It's not stopping, but now what we're going to do is we're going to be doing more specific topics for small business owners. We're going to bring on some guests and everything, but I wanted to spend this first series of episodes just laying the groundwork of what I believe small business owners need to dominate their industry, because this is kind of going to serve as like a teaching course for anyone that listens to future episodes. It's like you need to go back to the beginning, listen to the first 14, 15 episodes, go over that framework so you understand what you need. And now in the future episodes, we're really going to show you how to put it to work. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor, share this with other small business owners. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Have an awesome day.